Hi friends, before our story begins, how about subscribing to the channel, inviting your friends to watch until the end of the story, and after this one, there are many more for you to enjoy. Sofia was a curious little girl who loved exploring every corner of her house, especially the attic. Up there, full of old boxes and the smell of dust. There was always something mysterious waiting to be discovered. One rainy afternoon, as the wind made the windows rattle and the rain drew paths on the glass, Sofia decided to go up again. While digging through a trunk covered by a thick cloth, she found something carefully rolled up, an old carpet with golden threads and designs of stars and moons. But there was something different about it. It seemed to glow softly, as if it were breathing. Sofia unrolled the carpet and felt a gentle breeze, even though all the windows were closed. She ran her hand over the embroidered designs and felt a warm touch. Curious, she decided to sit right in the center. At that moment, the carpet vibrated, lifted off the ground, and began to float. Sofia held on tight, her heart racing with excitement. As the carpet spun around the room, then through the hallway, and out the open window. Outside, the rain had stopped, and the sky was painted in shades of orange and purple from the sunset. The carpet rose higher, and Sofia saw her whole town from above. The houses looked like toys, the cars like tiny ants, and the trees were little green dots. The wind brushed against her face and made her hair fly. While she laughed with pure joy, the flying carpet carried her beyond the town, over green fields, rivers shining like mirrors, and snow-covered mountains. Each place seemed to hold its own magic. In one valley, she saw a lake that reflected the stars even before night had fallen. Sofia reached out to touch the water, and tiny lights danced on her fingers like fireflies. Farther ahead, they crossed an enchanted forest where the trees had silver leaves, and little glowing animals hopped from branch to branch. The carpet seemed to know the way on its own. It carried Sofia to a floating village, hidden among the clouds. The houses were made of sparkling crystals, and rainbow bridges connected the streets. Children with wings ran around laughing, and Sofia was welcomed with smiles and warm hugs. An old lady with white hair, dressed in a sky-blue cloak, came closer and said, "Welcome, little traveler. You have found the carpet of courage. It chooses those with a curious and kind heart to show them the world beyond what the eyes can see." Sofia was amazed. She spent hours exploring the city in the clouds, playing with the children, and listening to the stories of the villagers. But when the moon appeared in the sky, the carpet vibrated softly, letting her know it was time to return. Sofia climbed back on, said goodbye to her new friends, and flew home. When she arrived at the attic, the carpet landed gently on the floor. Sofia rolled it up and placed it back in the same trunk where she had found it. But this time, she knew she had lived a magical adventure. Every time she looked at the starry sky, she felt the carpet was waiting for the next ride. Like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and don't miss the next enchanted adventure. Hi friends, before our story begins, how about subscribing to the channel, inviting your friends to watch until the very end of the story, and after this one, there are many more for you to enjoy. It was a calm morning in the small town of where the sun shone lazily and the birds sang in chorus. In the center of the town, there was a very special square, full of colorful flowers, wooden benches, and a magical fountain that sparkled when the sunlight touched the water. Children loved to play there, running, laughing, and inventing adventures. But that day, something magical was about to happen. Something that would forever change the routine of the town. Sofia, a little girl with curly hair and a yellow polka-dotted dress, was the first to notice a different cloud in the sky. It wasn't grey, nor did it look like ordinary rain. It was a pink cloud, fluffy like cotton candy. Sofia pointed up and called her friends. "Look at that cloud. It looks like it came straight out of a candy factory." The children stopped to watch, curious, when suddenly they heard a strange sound, like popcorn popping. Plock, plock, plock. The noise grew louder until, splash, something colorful fell to the ground of the square, right at Sofia's feet. It was a giant lollipop, shiny and smelling of strawberries. She picked it up, surprised. A lollipop fell from the sky. Everyone looked up, and then began the most incredible show they had ever seen, a real lollipop rain. There were lollipops of every color and flavor: blue, tutti frutti, yellow pineapple, red strawberry, purple grape, and even some golden shimmering ones that changed flavor with every lick. The children laughed, ran, and filled their pockets and bags with sweets that fell slowly, like flowers dancing in the wind. But it wasn't only the children who were delighted. The birds in the square flew happily, trying to catch sweet bits as they fell. Even Mr. Joachim's dog, the man who sold popcorn in the square, jumped to bite a honey lollipop. The square filled with joy, laughter, and the sweet aroma that spread throughout the whole town. Suddenly, in the middle of all that sweetness, the magical fountain in the square glowed with a bright light. A soft and sweet voice echoed, "Children, enjoy this special rain. But remember, the magic of sweets only lasts when you share. Share the lollipops, spread smiles, and the sugar cloud will return every year." The children looked at each other and began to trade flavors, give lollipops to one another, and even share with the adults nearby. With each act of kindness, the lollipop rain became even more beautiful, with new colors appearing in the sky, forming a sweet rainbow. When the last drop of magic fell from the cloud, the square was filled with laughter and colorful wrappers. Every child went home with a happy heart and a bag full of lollipops. Sofia, looking at the sky, whispered a wish. "I hope this rain comes back soon." And, as if it had heard her, the pink cloud sparkled with a little golden light before disappearing. Since then, the town of Sweetville became famous for having the sweetest square in the world, and everyone waited eagerly for the day when the sky would once again be filled with magical lollipops, reminding everyone that sharing is the secret to keeping magic alive. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and watch the next Enchanted adventure. Hi friends, before our story begins, how about subscribing to the channel, inviting your friends to watch until the end of the story, and after this one, there are many more for you to enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Clara, who loved to draw. She had a collection of colored pencils and notebooks full of doodles. But she always dreamed of creating drawings so beautiful that they looked alive. One day, while exploring an old stationery shop in the center of town, Clara found a golden pen with a shiny tip that looked like it had a little star on the end. The man who ran the shop, an old gentleman with a mysterious smile, whispered, "This pen chooses artists with a pure heart. Take good care of it, little one." Clara, not fully understanding, bought the pen with the few coins she had saved in her pocket. When she got home, she couldn't resist her curiosity. She opened her sketchbook and began to draw a blue butterfly. As soon as she finished, the butterfly flapped its inky wings, winked at Clara, and flew around the room, leaving a sparkling trail in the air. Clara was speechless. Could it be real? Amazed and a little scared, she picked up the pen again, drew a red flower. The flower leaped off the page and grew on the table, filling the room with a sweet fragrance. She couldn't believe it. Her new pen was magical and turned everything she drew into reality. From that day on, Clara used her pen to make the city more colorful. She drew birds that sang joyful melodies, trees with fruits that never ran out, and rivers of crystal clear water where there once had been grey streets. The townspeople were enchanted by the changes and followed Clara, curious to see what else she would create. But over time, Clara realized that not everything could be solved with magic. One day, she drew a bridge to help a kitten stuck on a high wall, but the frightened kitten refused to cross. Clara understood that sometimes, more important than creating magical things, was learning to help with love, patience, and courage. So, she decided to use her pen to teach children to dream and believe in themselves. In a square at the heart of the city, she created a magical mural where any child could draw their dreams, and for a moment they would come alive. In this way, the city became a place full of colors, smiles, and hope. The magical pen, which seemed to shine brighter every time someone believed in their dreams, became a symbol that imagination holds a great power, perhaps as magical as the pen itself. And every night, before going to sleep, Clara would draw a star in the sky. When it twinkled, it reminded children everywhere that true magic lives inside every heart that believes. Like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and don't miss the next Enchanted adventure. Hi friends, before our story begins, how about subscribing to the channel, inviting your friends to watch until the very end of the story, and after this one, there are many more for you to enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a very special toy car. It was small, shiny, and so bright red that it looked like a little piece of fire racing across the floor. His name was Zoom. He lived on a shelf full of toys in the house of a boy named Pedro. Pedro loved to play with Zoom, making him race across the carpet and creating imaginary tracks. But Pedro didn't know his little car had a secret. It could talk. Zoom only spoke when no one was around. Every night, when Pedro was asleep, the car rolled down from the shelf on its quick little wheels and explored the room. He talked to the other toys, invented exciting races, and even helped tidy up the toys that were left scattered. Even though he was small, Zoom dreamed of something big. He wanted to race out in the real world, to feel the true wind brushing against his shiny, red body, and to see places beyond Pedro's room. One night, while Zoom admired the moon through the window, he heard a soft cry. It was a teddy bear named Tobias, sitting sadly in a corner. "Why are you crying, Tobias?" Zoom asked in his cheerful little voice. "Because Pedro only plays with you. He forgot about me." Tobias sighed. Zoom thought for a moment. He cared a lot about Pedro, but he also knew that every toy deserved love. Then he had a brilliant idea. The next morning, when Pedro woke up, he found Zoom on the bed, pushing Tobias with one of his wheels, as if saying, "Look, play with him too." Pedro laughed at that and began to play with both of them together. But that was only the first of many adventures. On a rainy afternoon, Zoom saw Pedro looking sad, sitting by the window. Without a second thought, the little car switched on his magical wheels and started zooming around the room, all by himself, spinning and flipping in funny tricks. Pedro was amazed and started laughing. The laughter filled the room with joy, and Zoom felt very happy for helping his human friend. Then came a very special night, when a shooting star lit up the sky. Its glow passed through Pedro's window and landed right on Zoom. At that very moment, his wheels shone with a golden light, and he realized he could talk to Pedro without fear. "Pedro," Zoom called out with his cheerful little voice. Pedro's eyes opened wide in surprise. You talk?" "Of course, I talk. I've always wanted to thank you for playing with me every day. But now, I need to tell you a secret. I can take you to magical places." With a smile, Pedro climbed into Zoom, who suddenly grew bigger. The little toy car transformed into a real car, but still kept his playful toy charm. They flew out the window into the moonlit sky, passing enchanted forests, sparkling cities, and rivers that looked like crystal. Pedro had never seen anything so beautiful. When they returned to the room, Pedro hugged Zoom and said, "You're my best friend, and you're mine." Zoom replied, blinking his headlights. From that day on, Pedro knew his red little car wasn't just a toy, but a magical friend, always ready to take him on amazing adventures, whether in the world of dreams or in the real world. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and watch the next Enchanted adventure.